Hello, my friends. Welcome to Painting with Harold. I am Harold, and tonight we have a 16 by 20 canvas. And as of right now, it's completely dry. There's nothing on it at all. It's turned on portrait, and tonight's little painting is going to be something totally different. And what I have here is I have a little cup that has very little black gesso. And I have a paper towel that I have balled into a little ball, and that's all it is. I just balled it up. And I'm gonna go right up here to the canvas. And I just dipped the paper towel straight into the black gesso. And I'm gonna come right up here to the canvas. And I'm gonna start probably over here somewhere, just dabbing on some black gesso, about like this, just anywhere and everywhere, just across the top. And I don't really I'm not too concerned with the shape of how it comes out. Like if there's some areas that's thicker than others, or some areas that are not, that's fine. I mean, I just want to get this color up here on the canvas, and I just want to come across here in a little, just a little funky shape. Just any old thing will work up here for this. And then maybe up just this side, just a little bit, about like so. And that's about all we need. Now this is gesso, so it's going to take it a little bit to dry. So while we're waiting on it to, well, I mean, I'm not through yet, but when we get to that point, I'm just gonna pause the camera and let it dry. All right, now I have a number 10 round brush. It's just a brush that you use for acrylic paint. This is not one of my oil painting brushes. And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put a little paint on it, just about like so. Then I'm gonna come up here and I'll just start right over here, and I just want to start making some straight lines down, or crooked, or however you want to do them. They're going to represent trees, so I mean, they don't have to be exactly straight if you don't, if you don't want them to be. But we just want a couple decent sized ones in here. Just get you some, just getting some color up here right now is all we're doing with this gesso. When all this comes together, these will look like faraway trees in the background, or at least that's what we're hoping for. We just want to get the indication of some trunks up here, about like so. And all I'm doing is just pulling them down into that color and just letting them rest. Then you can come up here and put a couple smaller ones, because you're gonna need, you'll need bigger ones and you'll need smaller ones, and they don't all have to go to the top of the canvas. That is preference. That's all that is. But just come up and you can give them shapes. You can have them crossing over. You can bring out little limbs. I mean, you can just use your imagination up here and pretty much make them look however you want them to look. That's entirely up to you. There's nobody that's going to tell you how they can and can't look. And then just come in and touch around the bottoms of them. Just like so. And that'll just look like little faraway bushes when we get done. We hope. I got this painting. I've actually painted it in my mind a couple times, so how it's going to turn out, I really can't say. I hope it turns out good. I'll say this: if it turns out anything like my mind seeing it, it'll be a pretty little painting. It'll be something you can be proud of. Now, some of these that are kind of fading away back, kind of in the back like that, that's fine. I mean, they don't all have to be real solid black. They can have little areas that fade out. You can bring your big limb out over here just to give that tree some little life to him. But I'd say something about like that's about what we're looking for, really. Just a little indication of distant trees back there. And if you see something while you're painting it that you'd say, well, I want to put another limb right here. Well, hey, by all means, it's your painting. Put one there. Because like I said, they don't all have to be, everything don't have to be solid. I mean, there can be some breaks in the paint. Because all that's going to do is just add to the overall illusion once we start coming a little further along with this. Alright, now I've got a little bucket here that I use for, it's actually just a little cotton candy dish that, like if you go to the store and buy cotton candy in the little plastic containers, I just got it full of water, and whenever I use black gesso and brushes, I just use it to clean up my acrylic brushes. Then I normally carry it back upstairs when I get done and wash it in the sink. And then fill it back up with clean water and bring it back down for the next time. But I hadn't used acrylic in quite some time, so my water's kind of nasty. But I have got some clean water that I got in the sprayer here, and I can spray it down with it. And get the brush good and clean. For those of you that don't use acrylic or never have, acrylic's water-based. So everything you use to clean it with is water. And it's totally different than thinner. Because once you get done with acrylic and you wash it out with the water, you can use a paper towel to dry it. You don't have to beat the devil out of them. And what I always do is I just try to form it back up best I can with my fingers, about like so. That's after we used it and cleaned it. And you can see what it looks like compared to a new one. They're real similar. But acrylic is it's a whole different world than oil painting. And a lot of people, that's the reason they use acrylic, is because it's so easy to clean up. Alright, now I have to sit here and I have to wait for this paint to dry before I go to the next step. But through the magic of recording, you don't have to wait. So when you join me again here in about 30 minutes or so, all of this will be dry and we'll go to the next step. But until then, I'm gonna leave you for a few minutes and then I will be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, our gesso is dry, and my next step is I've got a 1-inch brush, and I've got my liquid white. I got it shook up good, and I'm gonna go right into a little bit of the liquid white, and I'm working right out the cap, and I got about that much. That side of the brush is dry. I got just that much on one side of the brush. Now, liquid white is very opaque, which means if you go up here and go over them trees right now, it will cover them up if you put enough up there. But if you come in here and you just start down at the bottom and just kind of loosely work your way up, real light, just real light. You don't want to put a lot. All right. If them birds go to getting too loud again, I'm just gonna stop the video and wait till they calm down, because that's got to be annoying to you guys to sit there and hear them screaming and hollering while I'm trying to paint. All right, just like that. And I'm just rubbing this liquid white on up here, just thin as I can get it, just real thin. That's all I'm doing. I think I figured out they don't like the sound of this brush rubbing this canvas. I don't know if that scares them or what, but I really don't think they like that sound. But we just found out that my wife is allergic to them. She's developed an allergy to them. So I guess I'm fixing to be looking for a new home. And I kind of hate it, but when it comes to your wife or birds, of course the birds have got to go. But now we'll be real particular on who gets them, because they've been around for quite some time. I've had them now for almost at least 7 years, and I don't know. I'm an animal lover. You get attached to animals. But anyway, back to the painting. All I'm doing is just adding a real thin coat of liquid white over that, and you can see it. Now, the liquid white's got, it's an oil-based paint, so the oil will pull up some of the gesso while you're doing this, and you can see over here how it's, and around it, how it's turning it a gray. But that's not really too bad of a thing, because we want this, when we get done, to look like it's in the distance and kind of in a shadow. Alright, then I'm just going to come up here and, well, I'll just go ahead and, maybe they won't get too loud while I'm doing this. But I'm just going to go ahead and cover my whole canvas so we can get my liquid white up here that we're going to be painting over. That way it'll be done. Just remember, always when you're using liquid white, you always want a thin coat. You don't ever want to get this stuff on too thick. I'll go back over this middle part again. Just to have it fade out a little bit. Alright, now I'll knock some of this liquid white out of my paper towel over here. And I'll come back and I'll just come across it with even strokes and just get it on there. Basically what you're doing when you do this is you reassuring that it is an even coat. You don't want big piles or big globs in one area. You always want your liquid white to be on kind of even. All right. Now, I'm going to take. Well, I'm gonna put my lid back on my liquid white because I know how I am with liquid white. If I don't, I'll have this stuff everywhere. All right, and we're sitting back to the side for now. All right, using that same brush, I just knocked a little of the paint out on the paper towel over here. Now it's time to tell you my colors for tonight. I'm using titanium white, phthalo blue. I got out a little Prussian blue. I may or may not use it. I'm not sure yet. Alizarin crimson, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, and I got out a little bright red. I don't think we'll end up using much of it either, but anyway. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is go right into some cad yellow. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to come right up here, about right across here. And I just want to come up, and I want to lay some cad yellow up on the canvas, just like so. And see, with cad yellow, you don't really have to worry about it because it's a transparent color. So when it comes over your trees that we made up here, you'll be able to see everything right through it. As long as we sell the effect that all of this is way back and kind of off in the distance, that's all we're going for. And we just want it to look kind of hazy back here. And we'll get a little more hazy look here in a second, because we got a couple more steps we got to do. But we want to make sure we get that yellow everywhere that we want it right now. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to knock some of that color out. Now I'm going to go right into some titanium white. And I'm going to pull a little of that out. And just like the liquid white, titanium white is also very opaque. So when you're using the whites up here, remember to be sparing. You know, don't put a lot, because if you do, you're going to cover everything up. And I just want to make me a bright spot back here. And just come in here and kind of blend around. Work out from that bright spot. And try to keep that yellow out of there if we can. But you can see how it's starting to look real hazy back there now. Alright, then I'm going to knock some more paint out of this brush. Same brush, hadn't washed it yet. I'm going to go right back up here, pick up a little bit more of my titanium white, and I'll come back in here again and just work around. And then very lightly, just kind of blend across, about like so. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that should be about enough for that. Really, it should. Now, if your white spot's not as bright as you want it, it may be time to clean your brush. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to do that white one more time. Now, you can do it as many times as you want to in your paint. Just the only thing to remember is if you go to getting too much yellow on your brush, if you go back into that white spot again, it will carry that yellow back in, and it'll dilute your white down some. Which is not a terrible thing, but you don't want to dilute your white down to where it kills your effect that you're going for. Alright, so now I'll get just a little bit more white. And I'll come up here again. And I'll just work around it real lightly. And I'll kind of blend it out. Now if you have to step back from it, you know, to see if your spot is white enough, well, you can do that. I think I'll do it one more time, because I do want this spot. I want it bright. Alright, about like so. Alright, I'll just get up and check this camera just to make sure I hadn't pushed a button, because it looks to me like it's trying to record in slow motion. And I don't want that. Alright. Now, one thing you can do, if you've ever wanted to make that sun ray effect where it looks like the sun is, like the rays are coming through your trees, is you can pick up a little bit more of that white, and that's very little bit this time on your brush. I mean, it's a very little bit. And just come up here and tap your white spot, about like so. Just tap around it, about like that. You know, just in a round shape, kind of to indicate almost like the sun. And then knock that paint out. And then you can come up here and turn your brush sideways and come right in the center and just pull that brush through it real fast. Just pull it through there. Just real fast. It has to, you need to do it kind of fast so it'll pull that paint. Because if you don't do it fast enough, it'll smear that paint, and this won't look the way you want it to. You do that at, you know, little different little angles across here, just to make it look like you got light coming through some of the limbs and some of the trees is all. That's all you want to do. And then very, very lightly come across and blend that out. Alright, let me check this camera real quick, because I don't want to run a video. Let's move it just a little bit. Like so. Get the whole. Okay. It's saying it's not on slow motion. Let's hope it's not. Because I have been guilty of doing that before. Alright, now. We was working on the sun rays, wasn't we? Yeah, so we just wanna pull them out. Got a little hair up here we need to get rid of. Alright. It don't look bad. You don't really have to have many for this effect. Just a couple. Alright, now we're gonna move in. I'm gonna go ahead and wash this brush again. We're gonna move into another step now. Alright, I'm gonna pick up a clean, dry 1-inch brush again. And this time, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll use my knife. I'm gonna take my knife and I'm just gonna go right into some titanium white, and I think I'm gonna use a little bit of dark sienna, and I want to make a real light tan color, so it won't take much white and it won't really take much dark sienna, just very little bit. I just want the white stained, because I want this to look like a real far away color. Because everything we're doing up here right now needs to look like it's way off in the distance. That way when we start coming closer with the colors, you know, you always got to get darker. So, alright, I'm going to take a little bit of white and dark sienna mixed together and put right on the brush. And I just want to start, let's say somewhere up here. And I just want to come in here with some leaf-like shapes just here and there. You know, just make it look like little leaves that are out here growing, like little tree limbs. And you can bring them over. You can stop right in here if you want to, or you can go all the way off with it. We'll do that. We'll carry this color all the way off. We're gonna have another tree over here, but we'll just go ahead and fill this in. It's not gonna hurt a thing by doing that. Alright. Then we can, with this same color, we can let's come in on this side just a little bit. We don't have to do much over here, because we're gonna have another tree over here too, but we'll add this just for the indication. And we can put a couple up top. Since this color is a little darker, it'll help our light show up. It don't take much of this color to do what we're trying to do. Just come in like so. Little bushes or whatever you want to make across here. And speaking of bushes, we'll pick us up a little bit more white on the brush, and we'll grab just a little bit of Van Dyke brown on the brush. And that'll give us a little darker color. And we'll come down under this black right here. Alright, we want it a little darker than that. We'll come right down under this black with this brown, and we'll just start kind of just giving ourselves some indication of little bushes and stuff across here. About like so. That's all you need. Just little indications here and there. Because everything we're doing right now is just, everything's gonna just look far away when we get done. And if you want, you can come up on the side over here with a little indication of some bushes. Just in here anywhere. And you can use just a little darker color to come up on top of them. Make them look like them sitting behind it. Just like that. That's about all you need. We'll go ahead and carry it on off the side over here. I don't really think we're gonna see that much, but we'll go ahead and get it over there. All right, now I want to pull in just straight Van Dyke brown by itself. And I'm just gonna tap the brush straight into Van Dyke brown by itself this time. Just like that. Just put some on the brush. Then I want to come right under this. And I want to leave a spot under here, but I want to come across here and give myself a little indication of like grass, but I want to come under these bushes. And if you can leave a little of that mist in there, that's a good thing. We just come down and just kind of, you ain't got to come down real far right now, just a little bit. Just kind of give yourself a little indication of just leave yourself a little opening right here. It don't have to be much, just a little bit. Kind of just straighten it out. Like so. And all we're doing is just tapping color up here. That's all we're doing. And then right in here, where the top is, bring the top in a little more narrow. Like don't have the opening as big at the top. And then as you come down, just kind of, further you come down, leave it a little wider. That's going to indicate a path here in a little bit. Just come back up here and tap you on some little bushy looking stuff. About like so. That's all we're looking for. Alright, now we can wash that brush. Right quick, like before we go to the next step, I'm going to pick up a little small. Well, I said I was. I got to find it. Just a little small fan brush, number 3. And like that. It's just a little small. Can you see it through all that white? Alright, then I'm going to go right into the Van Dyke brown again. And we'll come right up here where we had that opening. And I'm going to start just real light in here. Real small. And then I want to start working this back. Just like so. Let it get wider as it comes to you. Just let it disappear back into here. And we can do that with our bushes when we come back up to put our bushes in. We just let this get wider and wider as it comes down to about right there. About like so. And you just want your base color to be dark. And just let it kind of fade on out back here. Into nothing. Now that color that we had up here doing a little brown, come over here and grab us a little of that white, mix in with this color, because this is not our final highlight. We're gonna end up having to highlight a few things. But now the way we're gonna highlight this painting, when we start doing it, you'll see everything's gonna be real back in the back where we do our highlighting. Everything's gonna be real dim. We're not gonna use much paint at all back there. We want everything to be off in the distance while we're building this. Just make sure you don't get too wide with your path back at the back. Right, we'll add just a little bit of white in here, just where you can see kind of what we're doing. Because I know sometimes watching this camera can throw you off. I go back and watch some of these videos sometimes of me doing this, and I get to thinking, what was I doing right there? Why did I do that? If anybody's watching this that does their own painting channel, let me know. Do y'all think that same thing? You know, if you go back and watch your own videos, do you sit there sometimes and say, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Because I'm definitely guilty of it. Alright, washing my fan brush right quick. Then I'm going to reach down here. I tell you what, I'm gonna just stick with these 1-inch brushes for now because they're working, and I don't want to get that big 2-inch brush in there and mess that up right now. Alright, so now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pick me up just a little bit of sap green. And I'm going to go over here in this cad yellow. And remember what I said, everything we're using highlights on right now, we want it to be kind of dim. Because we're going to come back up here and we're going to add final highlights later. We got a little of that color on here. So let's just come up here and tap our way over here into the path. Just come up to the path and stop. Ooh, that's way too much paint. I didn't realize I picked up that much. We're going to have to work that out. But now you want to leave some dark in here too. Don't make this a solid green color across here. And if you don't come all the way over to the path right now, you know, don't worry too much, because we're gonna come back up here and work on all this again. Remember that. Alright, we'll come right up here. You want to do the same thing. Just kind of pull yourself some color down to your path. We just want this to look like the indication of a little grass bank kind of coming off of a little small hillside over here coming down to the path. That's what we're trying to make it look like. But like I said, these colors are going to be everything's going to be kind of real subtle right now. Nothing's really going to just stand out a whole lot in this area. Okay. Let me just bring this on back for now. And we can work with that a little later. Alright, we'll pick this up a little more here. Bring that out. About like so. Alright. I'm going to wash the brush again right quick. Won't take but a second. Alright, now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pick me up some Thabo Blue. And I want to come up here and I want to start pulling this color in from the side. Just level across here. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just kind of leave that little white area in the middle, so our water will pick up a sheen of light. This is one of them paintings we may need that little sheen of light to work for us. I'm going to bring this on across like so. Look out that bottom. So it's darker down here. Alright, now I'll knock as much of this blue out as I can on the paper towel. And I'll come up here and I'll start lightly blending across. Just real light. Now if we end up losing that little sheen of light and we really need it at the end of this painting, we'll come back up here and we'll put it back in. We can do that. But if we don't lose it, then that's a good thing. That'd be one less thing we have to worry with later. And I'll tell you something else. Once we get through with this painting, if this up here don't look the way we want it to, you can always let that paint dry a little and come back in there and do those rays again after that paint sets up some with some white, and it, you'd be amazed at what that does. Alright, about like so is what we're looking for. Right there. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay. Now I'm going to drop that brush in the thinner for now. I'm going to grab my little knife over here. And I want to get me some Van Dyke Brown. Just a little roll on my knife. And I want to come up here and I just want to tap me on an indication across here, or a little bank. Just about like so. About like that. Go back and level it up. It needs to be level. Alright, we're trying to get loud again. I'm not gonna put up with it tonight. Alright, now I got a little of that color that we used up here. I'm just going to use that for highlight. And I just want to come up here and just let it dance around up here. Just to add a little indication of color. That's all I'm doing. And we'll do some on this side. Just give it a little highlight. Alright, I'm going to pause the video while they're clowning. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here with a 2-inch brush now. We'll come right at the bottom and grab a little bit of that paint out of that bank and just pull it down. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All the way across. Just a little. And then knock that paint out of the brush. And then very, very lightly, come up here, very lightly, and just pull it across, about like so. Not like that. Alright. We'll just knock a little of this paint off. We didn't get much on there. Alright, now, I'm going to grab my filbert brush. I'm going to put just a little bit of thinner on the tip, not much. And we'll come back up here and I'm going to run it through the Van Dyke Brown on both sides. And then we'll bring it through my titanium white just on one side. So we have titanium white on one side, Van Dyke Brown on the other. And we want to turn the titanium white side up. And just across here, I just want to come up and give it just the indication of a couple little rocks sitting out in the water. Just along the little path over here, just to kind of break it up a little bit. Make it look like we got us a couple little stones sitting over here. You can come across the top up here and you can make you a couple on top of the little bank, just to add a little flavor. Don't take much, just indication, because remember, all this is going to be far away. Alright, then we're through with that brush, and we'll come back up here now and we'll pour down a little bit of this reflection on these rocks, and we'll come back up real lightly, and get them a little reflection in the water, just real light. Then we will grab our palette knife, come up here and get us some white, pull it out as flat as we can get it, and then run that knife through it. Get a little roll of white, and this is our brightest spot in this painting, so I want to come right here first. What is a little water line. Just kind of make them rocks look like they just out in the water a little. They don't have to be out in it much. Uh-oh. Alright, we can fix this right across here, like so. And we'll come across here and fix this, where I just made that little happy accident. Nothing to it. And just run your water line all the way across the canvas there. Over it over where those banks at. That way it's everything looks the way it's supposed to. About like so. Now it don't take a whole lot of water line right here because everything is way far back. Alright, then we'll come over here on this side and we'll finish it out like so. Alright, now while we're up here working, let's go ahead and do a little more work up here. I'll drop that 2-inch brush in it there. It ain't got enough paint in it really to worry about, but we'll do it while we're over here. We're going to pick up our 1-inch brush and clean it. The one that we made the grass with. Because now what we want to do is we want to come back in to our white again, and we want to bring a little of that white down here. We want a little bit of the yellow into the white and into the green, and we're looking for a real light green yellow look. We don't want to put no ochre or Indian yellow in this right now, because if we do, it'll take away from what we're trying to do, because this is going to be a very, very, very light touch right here. Alright, on these trees right here, or these bushes, we want to come in here and just barely touch. Just barely touch. And the amount of color we leave back there is going to be very minimal. We don't want much color back here at all. We can even do a little on this tree. But when I say a little, that's what I mean, very little. Because everything's supposed to look real far off back here. And if you get too carried away with color back here, it's not going to look far off. Trust me, it's going to pull it toward the foreground, and we don't need that happening right now. All right. As far as our grass goes, we'll come back and work on it. Because see, I got a little of that color in my grass, but I'm not too worried about it right now. Alright, then on the top of the brush again. We'll come right here. And come down to the path. That way it looks like our path's going out back between those two bushes right there. And this won't be the last highlight we do, so. Now back here, make sure you leave some dark, because dark's going to be real important back there. Dark's always really important, but when you're doing these kind of paintings, it's real important. Okay, not like that's all the, I'm going to say that's about all the highlight we need right there. Now what we'll do now is go up here and we'll pick up just a little bit more of the green. Since it's a little darker in color, we'll be able to see a color difference right here. We want to come back now and clean up our bottom to make it look like, see, we actually gave those bushes back here that little layer of mist in front of them now. And we want to come here and do the same thing. And the only thing we used to do this right here with was that little indication of color change. We didn't do nothing special. All we did was just change the color of that green a little bit. And it made just a little slight color change in here. Just enough that it added to the illusion. And see, we got a lighter color on one side of the brush. So you can come across in just a couple spots. You don't want to do it everywhere, because when we come back up here and go to cleaning everything up with our future highlights, we want it to be, we want everything back there to look soft, if that makes sense. We don't want no real harsh indication of colors. We just want everything looking real soft back here. Soft and misty. We just want indications of bushes, and we don't want you to really tell they're bushes. We just want the indication of. And then you can come back along and tap right at the bottom of where the grass meets the bushes, and it pulls it. It'll just kind of pull it all together and give it that effect. Just like so. I mean, it's just real easy touches is all we're doing. All right, now we'll grab a little fan brush here. I don't want to do it that one. I'm going to do it with this one. All right, I'm going to take that fan brush and I'll go right into it a little thinner with it. And we'll come right back up in here into my yellow and green. And I'm going to get just a little bit of color on here. Just a little. It don't take much. And right here on top of the brown that we made the dirt with, I want to come along here and just tap some color on top of that dirt, just to make it look like the grass is coming all the way down onto the bank. That's all I'm doing right here. You can come under the rock a little bit to make it look like it may be over around the rocks here. Then we'll do the same thing on this side. Just want to add a little grass over here just to kill that straight line in that bank. We don't need that there. Not like so. That's all we need. Just to make it look like it's enough bank back there that you can see it. That's all we want. Alright, now I'd say we about ready to, I'm going to clean up a couple brushes right quick. But I'd say we about ready to start moving forward a little bit now. I gotta get me some clean napkins over here. Them look like they'd fought a battle. Alright. Clean my filbert up because I'm going to need it. Alright, got my filbert brush out now. And I'm going to come up here into a little of the dark sienna, a little of the Van Dyke brown, a little of the alizarin crimson. I'm going to mix all these colors together right here on the brush. Okay, I got it loaded up pretty good. I'm gonna start, let's see. I don't think I want but one tree up here. I'm gonna bring it kinda about right here. And I just wanna pull this color down. Pull it down. And I know what you're thinking. Good God, Harold, that's a tree. Alright. I'll get about right there and I'll go ahead and stop it. About right there. Yeah. Okay. Alright. so. I know if Bob was here, I know what he'd say. He'd say it needs a friend. But I don't know if it does or not. I ain't so sure I don't want to bring it. No, I'm gonna leave it just like that. All right, now over here on this other side, I think I wanna. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring a couple limbs in. Maybe if I do anything over here, I may not. I guess I do need to put a tree in that side too. Just I don't know. I don't need much of one. Well, we'll see what we're gonna do when we get there. All right, we know this tree's got to have a healthy little branch coming out of it. We know that because he's a big old healthy tree. And a big healthy tree got to have a big healthy branch. So we want it to come out and go off the canvas. Like so. And we can just about bet there's going to be one that goes off this side. Like so. And I'm almost certain that there'll probably be another one kind of closer to the top of the old tree. Not like so. Okay. I cannot make my mind over here what I want to do. Oh boy. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put one over here. It's going against my better judgment here, but I don't want a real big one over here. Well, I almost can't make myself do it. Whew. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna make a real big one though. I'm gonna make one come out about right in here, just a little. And I'll carry him all the way off the canvas. I like so. I'll bring this arm up just a little bit. And I'll come out with another arm right here. And I'll put him one right here. Carry it on off the canvas. canvas. And I'll put one on this side, one up toward the little path. And I'll put another one right here. Not like so. Okay. Alright, now I'll wash this filbert brush now. I'm going to get my little script liner out. And I'll go up here in the same color that we was just using to make the trees with. Get it good and thinned out. Because we're going to need us a few limbs up here. So we're going to come off this tree with this indication of a little limb right there. We'll come off this side with one. We'll bring one over here. And whenever you're doing limbs, you always want to be careful that you don't get making them look like pitchforks or deer antlers or chicken feet. Because it's kind of easy to do. I'll bring one off this one. Then we can always manipulate that other area up there to kind of give it a different look. Not like so. This color in here. Alright. Now we gotta get over here and work on our little tree. We'll bring this point out. Not like so. See how they look like turkey feet? Well, we're gonna work on that some more. We're not done by no means there. All right, we'll come right through here, bring it up, and then just kind of shake us off a few little limbs up through here. And if you go to running out of thinner in your paint, just pick you up a little more. All right, over here we'll do the same thing. We'll come in here and just bring us up a limb. Send one out that way. We'll pull one off this tree. Give it a little indication like that. We'll come down the side of our tree here, straighten it up. This side, straighten it up. Just like so. And we'll put a couple little limbs in here. this one up, give him a couple little limbs. About like so. Come off over here. Give him a little indication of a little bit thicker limb right there, since he is further down on the tree. About like so. Alright, that should do it as far as limbs go. Alright, now I'm going to pick up my 1-inch brush that I was using earlier. I'm going to wash it real good. Alright, we'll come right back up in here to the dark sienna and Van Dyke brown mix. And I'm going to just tap some right on the brush. And using that top corner of the brush, I just want to come up here now and start giving ourselves some indication of limbs. Oh, not limbs, leaves. We already put the limbs on. And we kind of hope some of them show through, and if they don't, oh well. We know they're there. We watched ourselves put them on. We just want the indication of a few leaves up here on this old big tree. And we can come across over here with a couple, about like so. We do want to try to leave ourselves some limbs in this one. Usually I don't worry about that kind of stuff, but in this one I think this particular painting, it would look better if we did. Alright, then we want to come out here and just dress him up. Give him a few. Look, killed that whole bank we made. All that time we spent making that pretty bank. It's gone now. Just like that. Wow. Oh well. We know it was there. We know how to make it now. If we ever get ready to make us another one. That's the thing about it. Once we learn how to do something, we can always go back and do it again. We just make us a little tree right here with the indication of some leaves on it. Bring a few of them over there in front of the trunk, because we're going to come back and highlight this in a little bit. And we want to leave some of the branches showing in this one. About like so. And on our big tree up here, I want to come across it. And I'm going to come out into the water a little bit with some bush shapes, about like so. Just make a little, kind of make a little island out here for it all to sit on. And we can take our 1-inch brush and kind of pull some of this color down right quick while we're here. Just about like so. Then we can come back up here and grab our filbert brush again. Pick us up a little of our color and come down with it. Give ourselves the indication of that old big tree right there. And of course it's going to run all the way off the canvas. Just like so. Alright, now I'm going to grab me a little of my white. I'm going to come right over here and get some of this Indian yellow. Mix these colors together and put just a little bit of dark sienna in it. And I'm going to leave them marble mixed. I don't want them mixed up real thorough here. And I'm going to come right up here. And I'm going to say some of that sun actually made it out here to this old tree. And I'm just going to touch right down the side here. Just tapping. Uh-oh, I got out a little bit. I hate when I do that. I can probably fix it. Just take a small brush and come back in there. Alright, just kind of, just tap. That's all I'm doing. Just tapping this color on. Letting the canvas pull off what it wants. I'm not forcing it in any kind of way. I'm just lightly tapping. Just real light. Just kind of working my way back around the tree. And of course, the further I go around this side of the tree, the darker I want this color to get. Just real lightly. That way it'll maintain a textured look while that sun's hitting it. It'll just look like it's textured. And that's what we want it to do. Just real lightly up through here. Yeah, about like that. That's about what we're looking for. On this little one right here, it ain't gonna take much color on him at all, because I don't think a whole lot of color is gonna hit the back side of it. But I mean, it does need the indication of a little highlight. So what we'll do is I'll put a little color on there, and then I'll knock it all off my knife. And I'll come back up here and just let it run around all over the place. But I want to keep some texture here too. I'm probably even going to come back, well, I know I am. I'll go ahead and do it right now. And get a little more dark color. And come back up here and work that dark color in too. And just let this tree show indication little color. I don't want much color on that tree as far as highlight color, because I don't think it's gonna pick up much sunlight through all them branches up top. And we'll have more highlight up there than we will down here, I think. Maybe a little across here. But I don't want this tree to be like an old solid brown tree standing out here either, because that just ain't what trees look like. About like that. Alright, I'm gonna come back up here with now just a little white and really sparkle this outside edge in a couple places. You ain't gotta hit it many, just a couple here and there. And just kind of work it on in the tree. Just kind of let it work around. Because if it's going to be brighter, it's going to be brighter out here on that outside edge here. About like so. Now we want to pick us up a little bit of phthalo blue. And maybe just a little bit of white. I'm going to come up here and give us a little indication of reflective light through here. Not much, just a little. Alright, then we'll come back and work that in. Just don't let this color blend into your water too much, because it'll look like the water's running through your tree. I learned that a while back. I did it in a painting. I mean, it was one heck of an illusion, but it definitely wasn't the illusion I was going for, because it looked kind of creepy. That water just looked like it was going right through my tree. I got to looking at it and I was like, dang, how did I do that? Then I realized, well, it happened because my reflective light color, my shade, was the same color as my water. Alright, now, while I got this knife, I'm going to pick up a little more of this dark color. I about done used all my dark color. I think I might have a little more. I didn't put out much paint to start with because I really didn't know what colors were going to be the most dominant in this painting. Alright, I'm going to put out just a little bit more Van Dyke brown here. Won't take much now at all. I'll grab that little roll. I'll come right up here and come right under these bushes. Give ourselves a indication of a little bank running down over here. And whenever you're doing this, remember, pull toward the center of the painting. Don't come in here and pull back. Pull toward the center. About like so. It ain't got to be much of a bank. There's got to be something over here holding that old big tree up. We know that for a fact. Alright, now, I can bring a little more white over here. And since it's got a little brown over here, I'll just use that color for our highlight right here. Just come up here and let this paint break just like putting snow on a mountain. Just kind of let it glide across there and just pull right off. About like like that. Don't take much for that effect. All right, now I'm gonna get a clean, dry 2-inch brush, and I'm gonna come right across this bottom here and work on this reflection, and then we'll pull it back this way a little bit. Give that tree a kind of a look where it's like the water's rippling across here, like so. And then just kind of blend it out, about like that. Just give it a kind of a ripple effect there. All right, I'll knock that little bit of paint out. Okay. Then I'll go ahead and do my water line right quick while I'm here. I have to put this little water line across here now, under our bank here. Like so. About like it'll do. I really wanted this to be more. Yeah, like that. More grayish color like that. Out in the water. Then I can add my bright color up here. Like this. Make it look like some of that dirt's down in the water a little bit. Yep. Not like that's all we need. Okay. Alright. Now, I'm going to grab my little half oval brush, the one that looks like the big giant filbert, and I'm going to carry it over here in a little bit of thinner. And I'm going to come right back over here in my yellow and my green, and I'll add a little ochre to it now. A little more green. And there's a couple things to remember here. If y'all remember, make sure the bristles are open and don't kill all the dark. Those are the things we got to remember right now. Alright. I'm going to come right up here and I just want to start putting indications of some leaves on here. Are they showing up? Not real well. Let me get just a tick more thinner for this. Don't take much, but we gotta have it showing up. It's got to show up. About like so. It's starting to show up a little bit. May have to pick us up a little of the little more decayed yellow to really get it to right out here. We want it bright where that sun's coming through out on this outside edge here. Then we can kind of fade it on back into the green once it comes back in here. Give it a little color change, make it look like it's fading back into the green, and then darker up there at the top where it's not getting a lot of sun. Can't really see it real good, but I don't want to overdo it either. I want that green to look like it's hit and miss in here, but I do want some light spots too. But I don't want it all just super highlight, because that dark color is really important in here just as much as the light is. And what I can do after it dries a little, I can come back in there and kind of work on it some. Alright, we'll get started on this other one now. On this side, come up here and kind of give him a little highlight out here, and in the sun spots. Because I think when it gets further over to the center there, I actually think it's going to get a little darker in color myself. That's what I think. Just make sure you give yourself enough dark color that it keeps your tree in focus too, because you don't want to lose your tree. All right, we'll come over here with a different color. We'll add in a couple little highlights here and there. Like so. But like I said, we can always, after this paint sets up a little, we can always come back in here and dress this up some if we have to. Alright, only thing I see that I got left to do now is work on my tree. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab me a little, small, well, I'll do it with another filbert. I'm just going to grab me a filbert brush, and I just want to real lightly run it down that trunk. Just real light. Just real lightly. Kind of. It ain't going to show as much on that one as it will this one over here. And on this one over here, I just want to real lightly let it fall on these colors. Just let it get that that look about it. About like so. I'll have to get a little dark in here to make it show up better on this side. About like that. I probably never really should have put a whole lot of highlight on this one, because like I said, the trunk is actually facing us. I mean, it may have picked up a little sun, but I don't think it would have picked up much. Alright, about like that. It don't look too bad right there. Maybe smooth that out a little more. Yeah, about like that. Alright. Okay, now 1-inch brush again. Get it good and washed. I'm going to come over here, pick us up some highlight color. Shouldn't take a whole lot. And we'll come right here and we'll start adding this little highlight out here. We do want it brighter out there on the end. Yeah, there we go. About like so. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Bring in just a little bit of color. Just cross here like that. And I'll go up here and pick up a little of the ochre. It's got the green in it. That'll give us a little color change. We'll come up here on him. About like so. I'll grab just a little red. I don't want much. Just enough to get an indication here of another different color. And we'll bring it down like so. And I'll darken that color up again with a little more green. Just to make it look like it's getting lost back here in the shadow. That's not enough. There we go. Just a little more green right there. Alright. Then we'll grab the fan brush that we used earlier. And we'll come up here and we'll get in this color. It's got a little thinner on it. And I don't really care as long as it's in this green family, really what it comes out looking like. Because all I want it to do is be a little grass up here on top of our bank. That's all I want it to be. Just a little indication of some grass over here to kill that straight line. That's all I'm trying to do. Alright. I'm not 100% happy with this tree right here. With this big one over here. So what'll probably end up happening right there is I will probably, when that paint sets up, I'll probably come in here and put a little bit more highlight on it, so it'll be a different color. I probably won't even film that. I'm telling y'all I'm gonna do it. Alright, I'm gonna Come up here now and put me a couple little ripples across the water here and there. It won't take many, just a couple. All right, I'm gonna do one over here too, or a couple. That'll make it look like that water's really working that reflection of that big tree over here now. That turned out good. I like that. All right, grab my filbert again. Yeah, not my filbert. Oh, my script liner. And I'll go into a little of the red. And I'll come right over here on this side. And I'll put my mark. All right, we're gonna call this a done deal. Now all I'm gonna do, like I said, is on the grass right in here, I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna add a little more highlight on this side where the sun's hitting it. And then I'm gonna fix this tree a little bit. It's too wet to fix now, or I'd show y'all how I'm gonna do it. But it's got a lot of wet paint up there, and if I go fooling with it now, it's gonna turn to mud, and I don't want to do that. But other than that, I'd say we're done. It'll give you an idea of how to do this. You know, if you decide you want to try to do one on your own, you can add your ideas and whatever, you know, and make it work, make it yours. I don't know. I'm kind of pleased with it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Love you all. God loves you more. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. And I will be back again soon. And we'll paint us another picture. Have a blessed night.